welcome back to my channel. I'm so glad that you decided to click on this video. So today I'm going to talk about some new releases coming out in July. I always like to do this video a month ahead of time so people have a chance to pre-order books and just get them on their radar so they can plan their reading accordingly. So let's get started. So right off the bat, we are starting on July 2nd with The Lion Women of Tehran by Marjan Kamali. This obviously comes out July 2nd, and it is a historical fiction book. So this book opens in the 1950s where 7-year-old Ellie lives in a, very fancy lifestyle in Tehran before the death of her father. So then she and her mother are forced to move into this little tiny home in a area that she doesn't want to live in. On the first day of school, she meets another little girl named Homa, not sure, who is they become really close friends, and they play games, they learn to cook, they go to the Grand Bazaar, and they really have a lot in common. But then Ellie and her mother get the chance to return to their previous lifestyle. The two girls seem like they're going to lose touch, and things just kind of start to fade. It was, much harder to keep in touch with people when you weren't physically near each other in the 50s and I guess 60s too. But Homa ends up back in Ellie's life in the, rich people part of life. So, I don't know exactly how they'll be back together, but in a much more upscale setting, and we'll see how it goes from there. I know there's a lot about the political unrest in Iran, and yeah, so sounds really good. I'm definitely going to be reading that soon. July 9th is definitely a big day for publishing. So on July 9th, we're getting Bad Tourists by Caro Carver, and this is a thriller. So this is a book that has a premise we've probably heard before. 3 friends go on a vacation, and they're at this secluded island, and maybe someone comes up dead or they find a body. Again, not the most unique premise, but I'm definitely, looking forward to reading this on the beach. I'm definitely taking it with me on my beach vacation, and feels like it'll be the right choice for that. Love those kind of books about female friendships, toxic sometimes, all of that. So this should be fun. Another one on July 9th is The Summer Pact by Emily Giffin. She is one of my favorite authors since before I really was into reading. I have read every single one of her books at least once, and I read her book way back, her first couple books way back when they first came out. So definitely been an author that while I haven't loved every single one, has most part always slaps for me. So this one is about 4 college freshmen who just meet, they form this bond, they're best friends. I don't know how much of the college area we're going to actually see, but then something tragic happens near the end of college when they're getting ready to graduate. And so 10 years later, one of them is at a huge crossroads in life and kind of calls upon them to all come back to, reunite and kind of just work through. They're all going through something, basically. So, I mean, that's not a very good explanation, but that's basically what the synopsis says in far more words. I would read whatever she writes. So this seems like it's going to be just a heartfelt story about a long-term friendship between these 4 folks. And yeah, I think it looks like it'll be great. Another one on July 9th is Long Island Compromise by Taffy Brodesser Ackner. This is a family drama, a type of a saga of sorts. So this says, Long Island Compromise spans the entirety of one family's history, winding through decades and generations, all the way to the outrageous present, confronting the mainstays of American Jewish life: tradition, the pursuit of success, the terror of history, fear of the future, old wives' tales, evil eyes, ambition, achievement, boredom, orgies, inheritance, pyramid schemes, right-wing capitalists, beta blockers, and the mostly unspoken love and shared experience that unite a family forever. I don't think I actually read this little thing before just now. So yeah, this sounds like it definitely could be an interesting read. I love this kind of book with like a whole family drama saga. Ugh, yeah, I go crazy for these. So this is definitely one that I am going to be reading. Another one on July 9th is The Briar Club by Kate Quinn, and this one is historical fiction. This is about Briarwood House, which is a boarding house for women in 1950 in DC, and this mysterious widow ends up moving in and kind of getting everyone else to come out of their shells. Everyone had been previously pretty separated. No one really talked to each other, but then they all kind of become friends. They start having like these salons and dinner parties and all kinds of stuff. But then there is a shocking act of violence that kind of tears the group apart, and they have to, you know, figure out like who really is the enemy within us, within our midst. So this is a historical fiction subject that I really have never read anything about. So I, for one, am like absolutely looking forward to reading this. I've heard such good things about this author, so I'm definitely excited to read that one. On July 16th, we will get Where Are You, Echo Blue by Haley Krischer. This is a literary fiction set about 25 years ago. So Echo Blue is the name of this child star from the 90s who is about to make a television appearance on New Year's Eve on the turn of the millennium, and she just disappears. And so, you know, there are rumors swirling, whatever. Some people are like, oh, she just is a stupid kid doing dumb stuff and getting herself into trouble. And some people are like, well, it's something more serious going on. You know, rumors are flying. And this one journalist named Goldie, who is also a really, really huge fan of Echo Blue, decides that she is going to figure this out. She's going to find her. And so she kind of goes down this rabbit hole investigating where Echo could be. And then at the same time, we are going to get the whole story from Echo's perspective from the beginning. So we're going to learn everything that happened to her and like how it happened. And yeah, so I'm really looking forward to this. I also love books with like, not that she's an influencer, but like famous people, I guess, and particularly like child stars that are trying to like sort out their lives once they are no longer child stars. So this is definitely a book that I am going to enjoy. I have an e-book galley from NetGalley, so hopefully we'll get to that in maybe June. On July 30th, we're getting Pink Glass Houses by Aisha Elias. This is contemporary fiction, and this is like the exact brand that I love. This is some rich people drama, some mommy drama. This is about a very rich woman in Miami who is the queen bee of the PTA moms, and there's, you know, her little gang around her, and then this other woman moves to Miami Beach and gets like, she comes from Kansas, so it's very much a culture shock, and she kind of gets swept up in the world of these moms, but then she also wants to run for PTA president against the main girl, Charlotte, and things get crazy, I guess. So this is definitely not going to be like a book for everyone, but I love this kind of book. And additionally, I feel like this might be slightly satire that is taken fully from my perceptions, so I could be totally off base. But based on like the synopsis, it's just like almost too over the top that I feel like there's got to be like a hint of it at least. So yeah, this is gonna be really good. I'm looking forward to reading it, and I'm sure I'll fly through it. And the last one I'm going to talk about is The Wedding People by Alison Espak. I don't know how to say her name. I'm so sorry. And this is another contemporary fiction novel. It's a beautiful day in Newport, Rhode Island when Phoebe Stone arrives at the Grand Cornwall Inn wearing a green dress and gold heels, not a bag in sight, alone. She's immediately mistaken by everyone in the lobby for one of the wedding people, but she's actually the only guest at the Cornwall who isn't here for the big event. Phoebe is here because she's dreamt of coming for years. She's hoped to shuck oysters and take sunset sails with her husband, only now she's here without him. Meanwhile, the bride has accounted for every detail and every possible disaster the weekend might yield, except for, well, Phoebe, which makes it that much more surprising when the women can't stop confiding in each other. So that's like a really interesting premise. I feel like this is going to be kind of heartfelt. I feel like there's definitely going to be something that comes up regarding Phoebe's fact that she no longer has a husband and the fact that this is a wedding. And so, yeah, just it sounds like a really interesting book, and it's definitely one I have on my radar. This seems like a really good summary read, so we will see. As always, this is just a tiny sampling of all of the books that are coming out in July. If you have similar interests and reading tastes to me, these are ones that you might want to check out further and perhaps pre-order if they sound really, really good. So I would love to know what upcoming book you are looking forward to this summer. It doesn't have to be in July, just, for the summer, anything that is really getting you excited. If you liked this video, give it a thumbs up. If you haven't subscribed, I would love it if you would, and I will see you in the next one. Bye!